Hey, Tony Gassens here. You know, it's one thing I learned, and that is that you have to get to the place to where you can address the root. A lot of times we address the fruit, but we don't address the root. And what I mean by that is really digging deep and really identifying those pain points in your life and looking at the things in your life that happened, the events that happened in your life that changed who you were and that plays a part in who you are today. And when you identify those things and you really dig up the root and you get to look at it and you get to see and then you're able to say, you know what? This happened to me, or I saw this happen and that taught me this, or that made me feel this, or from that, I then did this, or I believed this about myself, or I became this. And then that led to this, and that led to this, and then now today I am this. And then you get to see where you're operating from. And when you really get to the root, then you can identify, are you operating from a place of insecurity? Are you operating from a place of scarcity? Are you operating from a place of fear? Are you operating from a place of self-hate? Are you operating from a place of limited belief? From a place of this internal struggle where you have a confused identity to where you really don't know who you are? So when you really get to the root of it and you see what shapes you, now you can identify where the greed for money comes from, where the hustle and the grind for notoriety comes from. Now you can see where the sexual promiscuity comes from, the sexual confusion, the aggression, the passive aggression, the condescending or pessimistic, degrading, demeaning, disrespectful attitude comes from. See, when you really get to the root of it, then you start to see, well, okay, why am I fake tough? Why am I a fake thug? Why am I a fake bad girl? Why am I a fake freak? Or why am I a freak in the bed? And when you really start digging deep, whatever it is that you're dealing with in your life, whoever you are, in any area of life, on the job, in your career, in business, in your relationship, in your friendships, in your family life, whoever you are, whatever your disposition is, wherever you're giving from. And so here's the thing. I give to a fault. And it's a personal example, so you can kind of understand what I'm saying when I say get to the root. I give to a fault. I give too much. This year alone, you know, if I have given this year alone, I don't know how much I've earned this year, but I give 10% of my gross. So let's say if I have earned $100,000, 10 gross, not net. Gross, meaning off the top, at the top. If I give 10% of my gross, that's $10,000. Even though out of that 100,000, if I only came home with 70,000 after taxes or processing fees or what have you, I gave 10,000 instead of 7,000. So that's not my actual income, but I'm just using it as an example. So I have this year, my wife and I have given $90,000 more than our 10% gross. So whatever that 10% is, we've given $90,000 more. And when I say give, I mean to people in need, to friends and family who are in need, to people we meet that's in need, to charitable organizations. And so I give to a fault, to where sometimes I give too much, and sometimes when you helping somebody, it can become a hindrance. And I noticed that, and I've seen that in people, certain people, some people, when I bless them, sometimes they come back with their hand out for more, when what I've already given them is more than anyone gives another human being in a lifetime. But people will expect more and more and more. And so what that shows me is that now your help is not help. Now your help is hindrance. So I have to realize that sometimes a gift could be a curse. If you have given someone something that they should have gotten for themselves and they are capable of getting for themselves, but it was a year down the line for them, and you circumvented, you disrupted their process, and you gave that to them before they had built the maturity or the muscle to get it on their own. And they were on that path and they were impatient for it, but it was coming. And it was coming, but the reason why it was delayed is because they didn't have the character, the integrity, the responsibility to have it yet. So when you take and you give it to them now, that is a premature birth into their life. So I had to look and I had to realize, and I say, Tony, okay, yeah, giving is good, but you can't let your gift be a curse. You can't let your help become a hindrance. So what's the root of that? What is the root of that? The root of it is wanting to be loved, wanting to be appreciated, wanting to be recognized for being a giver. See, and so now the root of it and the truth of it oftentimes will be painful. And on the flip side, I say to myself, I feel extremely blessed. And my mother said to me all my life, she said, boy, you were favored since you come out the womb. You had favor on your life since you come out the womb. Like you really ain't never had a bad day. Like you really, like she would just run down blessings through my life, or that just things fell into place. And so I'll be honest with you. I don't feel like there is another human in the world more blessed than me. I don't envy anybody else's life, no matter the amount of money they have. I don't want fame and notoriety. I never bought followers online. It's a lot of other people that I met that was buying followers online. I never bought followers and likes and comments and anything because I never wanted to be in a limelight. I knew that God would use me and give me a platform, but I thought it would come from football or basketball because that's what I started at growing up. And I went to college to play football, but then I lost my way. Why? The root. Feeling insignificant. I had only been affirmed as an athlete, averaging 20 points in a basketball game, averaging 10 yards a carry as a running back. I had only been affirmed as an athlete. So when I redshirted my freshman year and I wasn't being affirmed as an athlete, when I wasn't being praised for my athletic abilities in the game, I felt insignificant. So what other than an athlete did I see as significant and cool? A drug dealer. Because those were the two options that I was shown, other than being overworked and underpaid. But I couldn't work because football was 43 hours a week. So it was more than a full-time job in college. So we was with football 43 hours a week. And this was 2002 to 2005. So, things might be different today with all the NCAA rules, but we didn't have all that. And so when I looked at the root, so what I started doing, I got some work from my cousin, and everybody who smoked, I became that guy. Hey, come on over here. Come to the dorm room. Wanting to be significant. but not understanding what significance is. It's not being looked up to and idolized by people who think you're cool. Significance is tapping into your purpose and living your purpose. But see, I was too ignorant to know that. So I had to get to the root. So wherever you are today, you have a personality and you're operating from a place. And that place the place you're operating from may not be advantageous to your life. The place you're operating from may be detrimental to your life. It may be hindering you and blocking your blessings. And you may not operate from that place every single day. It may be certain days that you operate from. It may be certain instances that you operate from that place. So I recently went off on a man. It to do with my son. Had to do with my son. And I could have laid hands on him. Not pray for him. But I could have laid hands on him. But when I look at the root of it, I said, the reason why he got that level of energy is because I felt like he was being prejudiced towards my son. And I harbor a lot of resentment for the prejudiced people in his race. Because I grew up watching civil rights movies. So see, when I got to the root of it, I also realized one of the other branches of the root was being quiet and reserved my whole life and observing everything but saying nothing, watching how people move and bottling it all up. From the one time in middle school when the guy that was bigger and stronger than me pushed me in my chest, and instead of taking my backpack all the way off, I took it halfway off, then put it back on and decided to walk away. Because I said, this might not turn out how I wanted it to turn out. I know I whooped such and such. I whooped such and such. This right here might not turn out the way I want it to turn out. And then if I lose this here fight, I'm going to have to fight every day. And I just can't see where I'm going to win this at. So, you know what? I'm finna act like I'm the bigger person right now. And like just my hands just too nice, just too up to date for this one here. And I'm finna sit this one out. So, but then not processing that as a man, but instead allowing societal constructs, allowing the man box that we've been put in, that somebody else coined that phrase, allowing our ideas of manhood to make me feel like less of a man to walk away from a fight when I was 13 years old. And when the reality of it was, I was walking away from the fight because it wasn't a real fight. He wanted to fight me because a guy who was jealous of me and did not like me told him that I was picking on him because his mother was a lesbian. And I had never did that. So really, I would have been fighting someone else's fight. Now, what I did do is the boy who told that to, I whooped his behind. When we got into it in a basketball game, I put hands on, I had to lay hands on him. But I sidestepped that fight, and that was the real reason, because I'm like, I'm not finna fight you because, for one, you athletic, I'm athletic. We both got hands, we both got fists. Yeah, you're going to foul for me, but I'm going to get something in there. But what are we fighting for over this liar? This the one who need to be whooped. So when you get to the root, when you really sit down and you get to the root of why you are the way you are and why you are operating from the place you're operating from and why you are doing the things you're doing, and you address the root, that's when you can come to terms with yourself. That's when you can be introduced to your real self, to your authentic self. And that's the work we got to do. Hey, this is Tony Gaston. God bless you.